the son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. So again, devotional recitation, not recreational recitation. Okay, so as usual, we will take the darshan of Sri Sri Radha Gokulananta, the Utsava deities of Sri Jagannath Mandir Kuala Lumpur Tamanyal. Okay, so our praise to the spiritual teachers. So while I'm reciting here, paying obeisance to my Guru and Srila Prabhupada, you also can recite on the other side, all right? Because it is by the Guru's mercy that our eyes will be opened and we can understand the knowledge. Okay, this is not ordinary knowledge. So like this, you can pray to your Guru, or you can simply pray to Srila Prabhupada to bless us. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So every time we do an auspicious thing, a spiritual thing, we should get blessings from the gurus and his guru and his guru and the previous acharyas. Finally, the blessings of Krishna. So Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada left India and he was 69 years old, right? Usually when after 60, we are trying to have our vacay, our retirement. But Prabhupada left India at that age and he suffered 2 heart attacks on the ship called Jaladuta. Okay, and he did not go on a luxury cruise. It was a cargo ship. Okay, and from the moment he stepped on the land of US, for 10 years, he built 108 temples. So this was also prophesied when he was born. Okay, the family astrologer has come and told the parents that this boy is going to become somebody really, really great in the future, and he's going to build temples all around the world. So just in 10 years, Prabhupada built 108 temples. Okay, so let's move on to Gita Mahatmya. Ashwini Mataji.
Sarvopanishado Gavo Dokha Gopala Nandana Partho Vatsa Suder Bhokta Dukham Gitam Ritam Mahat. All the Upanishads are like a cow, and the milker of the cow is Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda. Arjuna is the calf, the beautiful nectar of the Gita is the milk, and the fortunate devotees of fine tasty intellect are the drinkers and enjoyers of that milk.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So, cow and calf. Okay, Upanishad is cow, Arjuna is the calf. Just like Arjuna, we are also calf, because Arjuna asking questions on behalf of us. Arjuna is receiving the knowledge from Krishna on behalf of us. Okay, so all Upanishads are like cow. The milk is for Arjuna, but it is not only. Okay, so the milk is not only for Arjuna, it's also for all the fortunate devotees or fortunate people who is drinking the milk. Okay, so just like how a cow gives milk, all right, it doesn't only give for that calf, Okay, the calf apparently it shouldn't over drink, otherwise it will hurt the intestines. Therefore, they will give the milk to others. That's why human is taking the milk. All right. So the milk of the cow is not only for the calf, but for others. So just like that is for Arjuna and as well as for us. Okay. So Upanishads, I have mentioned this term many times. Upanishads, it's the end of each Vedas. All right. So each Veda will have certain number of Upanishad, but the numbers are not the same. Sometimes one Veda will have 10, another Veda will have more than 10, like that. I don't have the exact numbers, but this is it's like annexes, right? So if you have like documents in office, right, you have annex, you have a main document and then you have annex, something like that. Okay. All right, so before we move on into our dhyanam today, we need to make connections from the previous chapters. Okay, so we're going to start with chapter 4. Okay, so do you remember this slide? What this slide is talking about, we covered in chapter 4. What is the title of chapter 4?
Transcendental knowledge.
Very good. So this verse comes towards the end of the chapter. So what was this about? We did this recap yesterday also. What was this about? What does it ring any bell to you? What fact or what point this verse talks about?
When you are realized soul, you will not fall into illusion.
Right. That means when we approach a guru, the guru is going to impart certain knowledge, and that knowledge actually removes the illusion in us. So what is that illusion? What is the illusion and what is the not illusion?
Maya is an illusion.
Okay, so that is the direct translation. So what is that illusion? What concept is it referring to? So we need to be clear on that.
Yeah.
We are all part of the Supreme.
Yeah, the illusion is that we are separate from Krishna. Okay, and the knowledge is, somebody just answered that, and the knowledge is,
We are all part of Krishna.
yes. So the illusion is that we are separate from Krishna. The knowledge is that we are part of him and we are not separate. So illusion opposite is knowledge. Okay, so the guru removes the illusion and gives the knowledge. Okay, this is the answer. You will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mind. So this verse is from chapter 4. How did we relate to chapter 5 yesterday? Who remembers? How did we relate? How this was put into practice yesterday? See that all living beings are but part of the Supreme. Remember? Please try to recall. Please try to recall, because we need to connect it to today's lesson.
Since you're part of the Supreme, so you do work with devotion.
Okay, this is about how do we see all living beings are part of the Supreme. Which verse was it yesterday?
It's meditation, right?
Okay. How do we see everybody? What is that term? What is the phrase, that 2 words?
Equal vision.
Yes. I'm gonna clap for you, Prabhu. Yes. Equal vision. So what else? What else do you remember from the sloka? I'm just trying to churn more information from you all. What else you all remember from that sloka?
Do not discriminate. All living entities are equal.
All right. Okay. What else?
See the Brahmana, cow, a dog, and a dog eater all the same equal vision.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, Pandita Samadarshinaha. So remember that the humble sages, by virtue, because he has that knowledge, because he is truly a learned person, he sees everybody equal. So in terms of what, how or why he sees everybody is equal? Why is that? What is the knowledge that he has that he can apply it in such way?
Seeing the super soul, Paratma.
Very good. Seeing Paramatma in all species of life. Very good. Equal vision. Huh? So he sees the super soul in everybody. Okay, so when we say Vanakam, right? What is the meaning of Vanakam?
The Narayana in me bows to the Narayana in you.
Yeah. Actually, Narayana bows to Narayana. Is it we bowing down to Narayana? It's like what is in Tamil, Prabhu?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
உனக்குள் இருக்கும் இறைவனை நான்
வணங்குகின்றேன்.
Correct. Okay, so that is the meaning. So here Krishna is establishing that fact in Bhagavad Gita, that there is super soul in everybody's body. Okay, so we move on. This verse actually appears in chapter 5, but it was not in our slides yesterday. So I brought it in for you to link it before we go into chapter 6. So usually it's like that. It's always a linking. There's always a linking verse from the previous chapter so that we can relate to what's going to happen in chapter 6. Okay, so now we were talking about the super soul. Okay, that super soul is in everybody's body. So the goal of a yogi, okay, is to realize the super soul inside him. And how does he realize this? Who can volunteer to read this? Let me see if anybody. Oh, Jai Silam Prabhu. Sorry, I didn't notice your name. Prabhu, you can read the English.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breath within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. So this is the process Krishna is explaining how to get liberation. Liberation means escaping from this material world. So what are the things Krishna is telling here? Who can bring out the points from this verse? Can you list it down for me? Who's watching news? Param Prabhu, do you want to say something? Yes.
Okay, the points are, the main thing is between the concentration between the two eyebrows.
Yes.
And your breath in and out.
All right, controlling the breath. Okay, and then?
This is for meditation, right?
Yes, and then what else? What else involves here? Is involved here?
Controlling your mind. That's the other thing.
Okay, someone? Anybody else?
In the beginning is to shutting out your external senses, meaning that you don't focus on anything else and concentrate.
Disengaging the senses. Very good. Okay, someone? Ada lagi?
Controlling the mind.
In the sense.
Mind, sense, and intelligence. Okay. Very good. Okay. What else?
By doing
what
so,
is mentality? What is mentality?
By focusing on this, you actually free your mind from all desires, fears, and anger. So you just focus on liberating yourself.
Yes, no, he's actually focusing on the supreme. Okay, the concentration that is meant here is concentrating on the supreme, the self, the super soul in him, in the yogi. That's the focus that he. Yes, the self. So that's why many people think when they realize the self in them, when they feel there's God, then they think that I am God. They come to a conclusion that I am God. So later we will see why it is not that. All right. Okay, so with that, we are entering chapter 6. Chapter 6 is actually Dhyana Yoga, or sometimes it is called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga means 8. Ashta means 8. Anga means form or 8 limbs of yoga. Okay, so it is actually a mechanical meditative practice, controls the mind and senses, and focuses concentration, the part that we saw earlier, right? Focusing between the two eyebrows, concentration on the Paramatma, which is the super soul. Okay, another name in English Paramatma is super soul, the form of the Lord situated in the heart. So Krishna can be realized, Bhagavan, the supreme, God can be realized in 3 forms. What was the first one I said yesterday? Anybody remember? The light. What we call that? What we call that? We always say merge into the
Brahman.
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 Sorry?
Brahman.
Brahman. Okay, Brahma Jyoti, the light, the effulgence that is coming out from Krishna's body. Second form,
Paramatma.
Paramatma residing in everybody's heart. The third one is the original
Bhagwan.
form of Krishna, which is Bhagavan. Very good. Okay, very nice. So ultimately, one who is on this path, they will practice all this, right? Shutting out the senses and focusing between the eyebrows, and they will free from fear, anger, and everything. This practice culminates in samadhi. Samadhi means full consciousness of the Supreme, total absorption. That is samadhi. Okay, so that's a synopsis of the chapter. So we will go in here. So Krishna will start, because this dhyana involves mind, right? It's basically is about mind. So Krishna starts, our lesson starts with verse 6. Okay. Janani Mataji, you here?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jita annatmanastu satrute yarte tatmaiva satruvat. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So, mind can be friend and can be enemy. The mind has to be always engaged in something. Otherwise, the mind will push you to do certain things that is not pleasant, to do unpleasant things. So if you are able to control the mind will become our best of friends. If not, it will turn out to be our greatest enemy. So too much of attraction to sense objects can bewilder the mind, and this will cause entanglement. So this is why the role of mind is very, very important in yoga. How do we control the mind? So if we are able to control the mind, engaging the mind, sense, and intelligence in the devotional service, then happiness is assured. If it's not, it can lead us into any unpleasant situations. All right. So what happens if the mind is not engaged? An idle mind is
Devil's workshop.
very nice, Prabhu. Yes. Okay, very nice. So the mind can be the friend. It can also be the enemy. Remember the knife example. The knife can be used to harm people, or it can be used to save people. Okay, so it all depends how we use the mind. So how you use that knife. So similarly, the mind is also like that. It can elevate us or it can degrade us. So again, the mind is very important aspect in the process of dhyana yoga, but mind is not easy to be controlled. So this one is a well-known fact. Later Arjuna will ask on behalf of us. Okay, so let's see this little drawing here. This is a genie. The genie, hello, Hare Krishna. Kushmataji, you want to say something? No. Okay. So the genie, the nature of the genie is you need to keep giving him work. If you do not give him work, he's going to eat you up. That is genie. Okay, the story goes like that. So genie is like our mind. Okay, the mind has to be always engaged. If not, it's going to give us trouble. Okay, so what happens is that this particular genie, it tells the owner, you need to keep giving me work. If you do not give me work, I will eat you. All right. So I will have to kill you or I have to eat you, something like that. So the owner was like, okay, this is good. I can give you a lot of things for you to do. So whatever work that he gives, right, the genie will quickly do. Wash the dishes, quickly do the laundry, quickly do. Clean my room, quickly do. But the genie, it did very fast. All the work is done already. The owner had got nothing to do, but he's so scared because if he doesn't engage the genie is going to kill him. Okay, the nature of the genie is to always work, 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 work. Okay, so what did he do? He saw this bamboo tree, right? So he told the genie, okay, now you go down, up and down the bamboo tree until I give you the next one. So the genie also kept engaged. He was kept engaged in climbing the bamboo tree up and down. Okay, so like this, he always have given the genie something to do. If not, it will devour him. So like this is how we should deal with the mind. We always have to keep something for the mind to be busy. And the best thing is to keep it busy in Krishna's service. So that is the safest. Okay, so if you have finished the service given, like I know some of you are planning to go to the temple for cutting vegetables. So like this is how we engage the mind, engage the senses. So when we do this kind of work, the mind is also should be engaged. The consciousness should be engaged in what you're doing, especially when you're cooking. When you're cooking, all your consciousness actually will fall into the cooking. So it is very important to have your consciousness clean and clear and spiritual. Okay, it's best to be spiritual when you're cooking, because the person who's partaking that food will be absorbing the consciousness that you have imparted in the cooking that you have done. Okay, so that is very important. And if you can, please offer the food to the Lord's picture or deities that you have on your altar. Just put a tulasi and offer. Okay, so like this, we keep our mind control as a friend. If you don't keep it busy, it will become our enemy. So the mind the genie. Okay, so this is an example of how we should keep the mind engaged. If not, what is the consequences? Okay, let's move on further. Kaya Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Yogi Yunijita Sadatam Atmanam Rahasi Siddhita Ekaki Yata Chitarama Nirasir Aparingaha. A transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind, and soul, self in relationship with the Supreme. He should live
Alone.
alone in a
Please.
Secluded place.
secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So let's go through that again as usual. We want to extract the points from here. So here, Krishna is introducing what a person first should do if he wants to go into Dhyana Yoga. So let's go. Who can extract the points for us?
Engage his
Body
body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme.
Okay, first of all, he has to engage his body, mind, and self in
mind
the
and self.
relationship. Okay, next.
Live
Okay,
in
secular. Sorry.
in a secluded place.
Okay, live with friends, family.
Sannyasi.
Live alone. Tak boleh bawa kawan like
Yeah,
how we
sannyasi.
no company. Live alone in a secluded place, not in a busy place. Next, what should he do?
Carefully control his mind.
Yes, carefully control his mind. Make his mind the friend. Then
Free from desires.
yes, free from desires and feelings of
Selfishness.
possessiveness. Free
Possessiveness.
from feeling of wanting and keeping things. All right, the wanting also should not be there. The keeping also cannot be there. The obsession, the possessions, the feel shouldn't be there. So these are generally Krishna is summarizing. Okay, now I would like to show you this one, Eightfold Yoga System. Anybody knows who introduced Eightfold Yoga System? Krishna introduced like many million years ago, and in recent times, not very recent, who actually inaugurated yoga system, yoga practice? Anybody knows? Anybody in yoga?
Patanjali.
Yes, Patanjali. Yeah, the sage Patanjali. Okay, so the sage Patanjali introduced this. Okay, let me go one by one. So there is 8 steps. The first 2 is yama and niyama. Yama means social contract, which means how we behave in society, our own qualities. All right. The second is niyama. Niyama means personal contact. How do we behave when we are alone? How that it refers to duties directed towards the self. So later I will give some examples of it. So this is the process of Ashtanga Yoga. There are 8 stages. So it begins with yama or niyama, like no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Okay, so in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada has given a guideline whereby all the serious devotees, all the devotees are serious in advancement. They have to abstain from these 4 practices: meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. Okay, meat eating includes eggs. All right, intoxication means smoking, drinking, drugs, including caffeine. Okay, and third one is gambling. No gambling, no numbers, no forex, all that, no gambling. Okay, and illicit sex, no relationships before marriage. Okay, so or outside marriage. Okay, so these are the 4 things. So it's not only it's a practice for people who are serious in spiritual line, in ISKCON or in Krishna consciousness, but it is a part of the guideline in Patanjali Yoga, in Yama and Niyama. Okay, all right. So after Yama and Niyama, okay, you do all these things, right? You discharge yourself from all these things, and then you go to asanas and pranayama. This is where you have all the different sitting postures, and it's also called hatha yoga. After that, you go into controlling the breathing, right? What we saw earlier, focusing or controlling the breathing between the nostrils. So that, right, that is 3 and 4. Okay, 5 and 6 is pratyahara. So slowly you withdraw your senses. This is also given in the summary earlier. So basically Krishna has summarized that earlier, and this is what Patanjali has given in 8 limbs yoga. Okay, so withdraw the senses. So when you withdraw the senses, you're actually detaching the senses from the sense objects, sense enjoyments. And then dharana. Dharana and dhyana, pretty similar, but it's different. Dharana means you are controlling the mind, focusing on one object, but different spectrums, which means like, let's say you want to meditate focusing on sun. Then you focus on the sun's shape, the color, the rays, the heat. So there are different spectrums to the sun. And then at dhyana stage, you're actually going to focus only on one spectrum, which will be probably that sun planet itself. So your focus is more resolute. It's not many branched, it's only one pointed. So like this, at dhyana, the yogi will start meditating on the supreme, okay, the super soul, all right, in other words. And finally, when he perfected that stage, he will attain the samadhi, which means he is in complete absorption. So like this, in Satya Yuga, people will be on this. From here, from Yama to go to Samadhi, it will take very long. It doesn't take like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. What we have doing in this 5 minutes, 10 minutes is we are basically stilling the mind, making the mind still. So this is the actual process that Krishna is giving here. This is a summary, but today Krishna will teach how to do dhyana. Okay, so before we go further into dhyana, these are the examples of activities under yama and niyama: non-violence, truth, non-stealing, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means no illicit sex. Okay, that one. Aparigraha means non-hoarding, not being very greedy to take a lot of things. So yesterday we saw this in the Ishopanishad yesterday. Okay, so we can only take what is allocated for us, and not those are not allocated to us or allocated for others. Okay, so this is non-hoarding. So you see, it's all here. This is the very basic step in Ashtanga Yoga. The next is niyama, which means the duty that we have for ourselves, responsibility that we should do for ourselves. Cleanliness, we are doing it for ourselves. Contentment, satisfaction. Tapasya, austerity. Okay, like fasting and all that. That is fasting. That is tapasya. Bertapa. Tapas. Now bertapa means in the meditation mode. Tapasya means austerity, abstaining ourselves from doing something. Self-study. Studying, right? Studying is important. Surrender. Okay, Ishvara Pranidhana. Duties directed towards the self. So like this, there are many examples and elaboration, but I will not go into all that. So I just wanted to show this because these are the similar activities that we are practicing in Krishna consciousness. So we're practicing all this. Okay, so now Krishna gonna explain how to do Ashtanga yoga, particularly the dhyana. Okay, so this one nobody has volunteered. So anybody would like to read the English or the 3 paras?
To practice yoga, shall I try?
You can, Prabhu, Param Prabhu.
Shall I read?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Param Prabhu,
To
carry on.
practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusa grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Okay, let's go through that again as usual. All right. So give me the points. How should be the physical setting?
Secluded place.
Secluded place. Okay.
Places on the
Where is-
ground with grass, covered
Okay.
with deer skin and soft cloth.
Yeah, kusha grass. What
where
is
to get that?
kusha grass? Where to get that? Lazada, Shopee can, Prabhu.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, kusha grass is the grass. You know when people do yagya, right? They put on the ring finger something like long.
Okay.
So you can see the kusha grass that we have in yagya is already dry. You know, it's not like green.
Darpa grass.
What grass? Parmaganda? What's that? Prabhu?
Darpa.
Yes, correct. Tarpa grass.
Okay. So that is kusha grass. So that one is only 1 or 2 there on the ring finger. So Krishna is saying here, first you have to find a secluded place. You don't just go to a room and then you close the room door or close curtain. So you have to go out of the house, and not just out of the house, you have to go out so far, secluded, no disturbances, no people, no partners, no companies, no gang. Okay, you cannot bring your gang. Okay, and then like a mountain, a jungle, forest, away from everyone, and do not take your phone or laptop with you. Okay, you cannot. No pager, nothing, no Wi-Fi, no data hotspot, whatever. So it's just you and your secluded place. Okay, so first you find that. All right, so let's say you already found that place, and then you need to find kusagra. We know definitely we cannot get it online. So little we can get from the pujaris that do the yagya, but you have to fill the place of your sitting with kusagras on the ground. And then how to get the next thing? What is that?
Deer skin.
Deer skin. Where to go and hunt deer? Definitely cannot use the copy ori. We have things like called copy ori. They call it. They don't call it duplicate. They call it copy ori. Copy like ori. So we don't have the deer skin. Cannot find soft cloth. Okay, not a problem. We can get. So we can't find easily. We can't find a secluded place. We can't find kusa grass. We can't find deer skin. All right. So next, your sitting arrangement. There's 2 points here in the second paragraph.
Not too high and not too low.
Yes. And then
Situated in a sacred place.
situated in a sacred place. Who's your assistant, Kaya Mataji? I'm so interested to know.
Assistant.
You have assistant there? Somebody is giving you the point? Is it?
No. It's me, only me.
Oh, it's only you. Okay. All right. So you need, how are we going to measure? Not too high, not too low. Krishna never give as in the centimeter or inches. No. Okay. So only an experienced dhyana yogi can tell that. And then you have to find a sacred place. Where to find sacred place? Have to go to, that's why people go to the Himalaya. They go for these kind of places, sacred place. All right. Next. Again, Krishna is talking about sitting. So let's provide the checklist for the sitting. Who is that, Mataji? I'm hearing, but you're not appearing here. Oh, Brinda Mataji. I think it's pretty muffled. That's why. Okay. Because usually when you speak, I can see your name popping out, so I can't see your name. Okay. All right. So tell me how to sit.
Sit very firmly.
Very firmly. Okay. So let me stop you there. So we started at 7:30. Some of you 8:30. Some of you were here before that. So how much firm have you been sitting? So it's difficult, isn't it? 5 seconds or so, we cannot sit still. All right, so sitting firmly. And then what the yogi does next?
Practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind.
So all the asanas and pranayama, he does all this to control his mind, senses, and activities. And then
fixing the mind on one point.
Yes, remember the focus between the two eyebrows. Yes, so where to meditate, how to sit, how to meditate, where, how, again how, right? And what to meditate on, fixing on one point. All right, okay, what else? Okay, let's move on.
I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
So if when you're seated, it should be cross-legged like that.
I guess so. This one Krishna never say, but it looks like that's how we sit, right? They call it lotus position, isn't it?
Yeah.
The leg on leg. Yeah. So how, Prabhu, how long can you sit? I can't. Maybe 10 minutes only. After that, start shifting here and there. All right,
No,
but
I
actually,
still need to use a stool, small stool.
Okay. Because this one takes a long practice, right, to have that flexibility. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. So that's why in our temple we want to we have these classes every week, and also we try to sit. And if I notice that I sit in cross leg lotus leg position, you can actually sit longer, but then you start cramp and everything because you need to practice. You only sit down like that for 1 hour once in a week. So if you do yoga every day, so probably will have better flexibility. So the asanas are very important to have flexibilities because
I think
otherwise.
That's why, sorry to interrupt, Mataji.
Carry on, Prabhu.
The one you explained is on the 8 yoga system. I think that's why before you go to the meditation stage 7, you have asana in stage 3. So this is where I think you will practice your postures to prepare yourself.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
It's not easy, but
yeah, so that's why it's like a gradual step. So we cannot do everything in 5 minutes or 10 minutes and come out. So, that's not the way. That's not the way to do it. All right, so Krishna has not finished giving the guidance. He's gonna give some more here. 13, 14 also, we don't have anybody to read. Can somebody volunteer?
Shall I read the English version?
Yes, Mataji.
One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So let's get the points. First paragraph, how to sit. Your posture.
Straight.
Straight. Yes, super straight.
Super
straight. Yeah. And then, where's your focus be?
Tip of the nose.
Tip of the nose. So Krishna never says here you must close your eyes. I know some meditation centers. Actually, I tried many things before I successfully landed in Krishna consciousness. So I have tried. And, they say you should not close your eyes when you meditate because there's a tendency for you to fall asleep. So you need to stare steadily at the tip of the nose. So this is what Krishna has given here. Otherwise, you half eyes closed. Yeah, sometimes they say half eyes closed because you're actually expected to, you have the focus in between your two eyebrows, but the staring at the tip of the nose. So you can, try that. All right. So after that, the senses, the withdrawal of the senses happen. Like Prabhu highlighted, that is why the Ashtanga is the way to advance. So second paragraph. Controlling the senses means unagitated, all right? Subdued mind, control the mind. So you're free from fear, completely free from sex life. Then one should meditate upon me within the heart. Can you see here? Krishna is telling one should meditate upon me within the heart. Means he's telling that he is in the heart and you have to focus inward towards him and make me the ultimate goal of life. So this is how Krishna explains. Okay, fast forward to 6.33. Arjuna is like this. Recently I had a course for the youths. When I put this picture, then one boy asked, did Arjuna look like this? Like that. He was making a joke. So I said, this is not Arjuna, but this is the condition that Arjuna was like when Krishna was telling all the step-by-step dhyana yoga. Okay, point 33, Suha is not here. Anybody would like to volunteer the English?
I will read.
Okay, Pushpa Mataji.
Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So this is a problem of people in current life. It's not only impossible for now. 5,000 years ago, Arjuna has already said it. 5,000 years ago itself, Arjuna said he couldn't do this yoga. So he has a doubt. And he say, oh, Madhusudana, it's not practical. I just can't do this. Why? Why he says it's impractical?
The mind is restless and unsteady. No.
The mind is always restless and not steady. And then what else he said? Okay, what else he said is in the next verse, I think. Who has Bhagavad Gita in your hand? Okay, we will go to that. So while we open it, and what Arjuna says is impractical and
unendurable.
Oh, Nandini Mataji. Okay, I'm going to come back to you. Okay, unendurable. Yes. So what else? What else he says about the mind? Okay, the process is impractical. The process is impractical for him, is unendurable for him because the mind is restless and not steady. Okay, so it's so restless, it's so difficult to keep it steady. The mind is always thinking when the class is finishing, after this nak makan apa? Or tomorrow, what is my project? What is my next things to do tomorrow? Right? It's weekend, so I'm sure there's a lot of things running in your head already. Okay, what time I'm going to sleep? What time I'm going to wake up? Okay, what I should eat for supper? What's on TV tonight? So like this, the mind is always working like the genie. Okay, so that's why he said it's difficult. Where is the Bhagavad Gita, Mataji? I'm just gonna ask you. Okay, so can somebody tell me if you have
6.34, is it?
Yes. Okay, hold on, Mataji. So I'm gonna ask a question. So what is the problem or challenges with the mind? It's in 6.34. So who can read, Mataji, just now?
Shall I?
Yeah, Muna Mataji. Okay, Mataji, please read.
For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think it is more difficult than controlling the mind. The wind, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so who remembers what Mataji read just now? The mind is restless. Sorry? Turbulent. All right. Obstinate.
And very strong.
Very good. Okay, these are the four things. So the word used in the sloka exactly is chanchalam. Chanchalam means flickering. Oh, it's okay, Nandini Mataji. Okay, so chanchalam means restless, flickering. All right. Turbulent, the word used is pramati. Pramati means agitating, so it's always turbulent. All right. Then the next one is balavat. Bala means strong. So the mind is very strong. Its resistance is strong. Its attraction to things is very strong. Obstinate. What is obstinate? English teacher?
Stubborn.
Yeah, stubbornly refusing something. So this is the symptom of mind. So it is not only the symptom of mind now, it has been Arjuna's opinion long ago. All right, much before our time. So he say what is unendurable for him to sit in a secluded place is unendurable for him because the mind is unsteady. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Okay, so because Arjuna has posed the question, oh Krishna, this is so difficult for me, I cannot do this, right? So Krishna is going to give a solution. Sam Prabhu.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamsayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grihyate. Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kundi, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. So everyone, I would like to know what is Krishna is acknowledging here.
Yeah, it's not easy to curb your mind.
Yes, so Krishna agrees with, he acknowledges the difficulty that Arjuna is mentioning. Yeah. So he acknowledged, I know it's difficult, Arjuna. And then what happens in the next part of this sloka? He's giving a solution. What solution is that?
By practicing, you will be able to control the restless mind.
By practice. Okay.
Detachment.
Yes. Okay. So first let's touch on the practice. It's going to be difficult, Arjuna, but you can do this with practice. The mind will wander. You have to bring it back. It will go for a walk or for a run or for a marathon or sprint. Then you have to bring it back. So practically, this is why the chanting is applicable in this age, because when you chant, you hear. When you chant, you hear. So there's always a connection. If your mind is wandering, all right, you will lose the hearing of the chanting. So you know that the mind has already gone for a walk. Then you chant loudly and then you hear it. You chant loudly and then you hear. So it's a circle like that. So that way the mind is kept intact. Okay, so we see here Krishna has called Arjuna with a name. How he addressed Arjuna here?
Son of Kunti.
Son of Kunti.
Is that all?
Mighty armed.
Yes, he used the Mahabaho, means, and then he said Kaunteya. Kaunteya is son of Kunti. Mahabaho, oh mighty armed. Kaunteya, son of Kunti. He says, okay, Krishna addresses Arjuna with this name because he has strong arms, okay, and he is able to fight with great devas, okay. Therefore he's not a weakling. He's not a weak person. And he additionally, Krishna called him as son of Kunti, Kaunteya. So Kunti Devi, Queen Kunti, she's a great devotee. And Arjuna is born to her. And who is Arjuna's father? Lord Indra. So can you imagine, Arjuna is not a chalang orang, okay? He's a supreme archer. All right, so this way Krishna is calling Arjuna with this name to remind Arjuna that he is actually very qualified. He should be able to control his mind. Okay. However, Krishna acknowledged Arjuna and he agrees that yes, it's not easy, it's going to be difficult, but you can do this with practice. Okay. Again, going back to how the mind wanders, you have to bring it back. So the next qualification is, next solution is, there's two solutions Krishna gave. One is practice. Detachment. So detachment means you cannot hold on to material things. Okay, so if you keep, we have to let go these material things to keep our mind intact and withdraw the senses. Okay, so if we keep holding on to something material, we'll never grasp the spiritual. We will never grasp the higher taste. Okay. So that is why Krishna doesn't encourage that you should give up everything. You can renounce in your work, but you cannot renounce the work. So usually when there are new devotees coming to our movement, we never encourage them, oh, let go this. Today you have to let go this. Tomorrow you have to let go this. No, we never do that. Okay, because it's very easy to go if there is no solid philosophy or knowledge to back the practice, okay, as a fundamental foundation, tendency is high for them to go back to the older habits. So it has to be very gradual. You have to slowly engage them by, engage their limbs in services, physical services. Like we have cutting coming in, coming soon, right? The Ramanami festival, we need help for cutting, so you can engage like that. So when you cut, you engage your senses, your mind. So like this, slowly, we will elevate in spiritual path. We will advance like that. Okay, so practice and detachment. Okay, the problem in practicing Ashtanga yoga in Kali Yuga is difficult. It's the problem is because the symptoms of people in Kali Yuga is such. Okay, so in Bhagavatam, we have a description on symptoms of Kali Yuga. Okay, characteristics of people in Kali Yuga, which is have short lives, quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. All right, so this is the description. Actually, there are more description about the symptoms of Kali in Bhagavatam. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. So tell me, why do you think people in the Kali Yuga, they are having all these problems? Short life, quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky. What do you think? Why do you think it is? What is that in Kali Yuga that makes us like this?
Attachment and materialistic.
Materialistic life. Very nice, Mataji. Yes. Okay, so that's very good. Congested city, extravagant life, unrestricted indulgences, uncontrolled tongue. Uncontrolled tongue can be in speech and eating. Okay, so it is mentioned that one who is advancing in spiritual life, first they have to control the tongue by eating the right food and speaking the right thing. Okay, the tongue, the belly, the genital is situated in a straight line. This is given in Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, so to control that, the tongue, belly, and genital, it's through food. It's always first thing is the food. Okay, so that's a different topic. So this is the symptoms in Kali Yuga, and why it's happening like that is because of all this environment. Okay, that's why. Okay, so we are done with the process of the Dhyana Yoga, and we have also covered the challenges of practicing Dhyana Yoga in modern life. Okay, so Arjuna is asking a question. He is worried, what if somebody takes up this path, given a great deal of effort, all right, and perseverance in this, however, something comes along, distracted them, and they break this Dhyana Yoga or this Ashtanga Yoga practice, which means they fail in that path. So what happens to such yogis? So this question Arjuna asked in 6.37, which is not in our slide. So who has Bhagavad Gita in your hand? Please open 6.37. Sam Prabhu, do you have it? Anybody else have Bhagavad Gita in your hand? Bhagavad Gita as it is?
Can I
Yes.
read Mataji?
Brinda Mataji, can. English, huh?
Yeah. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist Alice, who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later deceased due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism."
Okay, just give me one moment. Okay, so did anybody catch what Brinda Mataji mentioned? Anything? What was the question about?
Yeah, the question was what happens to the such yogis who are unsuccessful in their transcendent journey.
Yes, very nice. So this is the question of Arjuna. So what is the destination? Where do they go? What happens to them? Okay. So these people actually, they have given up their material life. They wanted to go into spiritual life. However, the spiritual life failed. So how? They can't have happiness in the material life and they can't have happiness in spiritual life. So will it be like that, Krishna? This is what Arjuna is asking. However, it is important to know that important to note that God keeps count of all our accumulated spiritual merits. How is it possible to attain this while being in the world, especially Kushmataji? Actually, if I have the time, I wanted to ask the question, but in 1 hour, I can't ask a lot of questions, right? So it's impossible, isn't it, Kushmataji? Can you go to a secluded place? You've got a
it's impossible, especially now that I have a 1.5-year-old. So I'm just wondering how do we achieve this in Kali Yuga?
Correct. That is the problem. So Krishna, that is why the knowledge is given here. It is not possible to achieve. It may be possible for some people, and they might fail because of the distraction or whatsoever. And that is why Arjuna is asking, so what? They have actually started the path. So are you saying they cannot go anywhere? There is no benefit at all for whatever they have, done all this while? So for this, Krishna is giving solution, an answer. Okay, he's giving an answer. So the answer is split into two. Okay, please be attentive for this. The first solution or first answer Krishna is giving, one who practices this yoga for a short while and then they fail. Where do they go? The next one is they practice for a long time and then they fail. Where do they go? So where these two category of people will go. So it's very important. Yeah. So let's do this 6.41. Pushpa Mataji, are you here?
Yeah. Okay. Prapya punya kratam lokan usitva sasvate sama suchi nam srimatam yehe yoga brashto bijayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy.
Very nice. Okay, so we need to really distinguish this solution and the next verse. Okay, so here Krishna is saying the unsuccessful yogi after many years, which means this is a short-term verse. Okay, so here these people, after they leave the body, they will go to higher planets like Devas planets or heavenly planets. So there they will enjoy the pious credit they have accumulated. So just like how we have our money in our EPF or FD, right? So we take the money, we go to a foreign country, we enjoy. Sudah habis, we come back to Malaysia. Okay, we cannot forever stay there. So like this, those who have gone to this higher planetary system on the account of their pious things that they have done during this lifetime, it will be exhausted eventually. And then they will have to come down back to the material world, which is the earth. All right. But when they come back, they will be born in families that rich or educated or righteous. Okay. So first, they will go to the planets of the pious living entity. It could be ancestors planets or some yogi planets. Okay. Or some devas planets or anything. Okay. Then they come back, they take birth in family of righteous people or rich aristocracy, rich family or righteous people, educated family, like that. So there, okay, they have that facility. They will be given a facility to quickly advance on that path. They will continue from where they left. Okay, they will continue like that. So this is the benefit of those who have tried and failed. Okay, but remember, because it doesn't guarantee success in that sense. You have to keep coming back. So you cannot stop that birth of cycle of birth and death. Now the second here, this is unsuccessful after short term of practice. So the next is unsuccessful after long term of practice. Okay, so who's supposed to read?
Me.
Yes, ma'am.
Athava yoginam eva kulle bhavati dhimata etatti durlabhatarang loke janmayat idrisham. Or, if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So, those who fail after a long term of practice, they will take birth in the family of transcendentalists, meaning spiritualists, devotees. Okay, these are not ordinary souls. So they are almost perfect. All right, so they will continue their life in this kind of family where the facility is guaranteed for them to advance swiftly. Okay, so that's why children born in devotees family, from small they learn all this Bhagavad Gita sloka, they can play mridangam, they are just exposed to all the Krishna stories, so the advancement is very swift. Okay, so that is a facility that is given if you fail after practicing of long yoga, this dhyana yoga and things like that. Okay, so again, you still have to come and take that birth, and then you have to go through the old age, disease, and death. Okay, anyways, to be born in this kind of spiritual family is rare, Krishna says here. Okay, such a birth is rare in this world. Okay, sometimes you see children when they are newly born, they can recite slokas. How? So because they were yogis in the past. How Lydian, right, the pianist, why he can do that? Because he probably was a great player in the past. So he continues like that. So Lydian, right? Let's Lydian, right? The guy, the boy who can play two pianos with two hands, right? So like that. So some people are just born talented because it's all impressions from the past. Okay, we will see this more later. So this is the yoga ladder in summary. Bottom here is animal species. So we have been born as human. We start this yoga ladder process by engaging in karma yoga. Okay, and then we advance to, if when you keep doing the duties detached, in a detached manner, we will gain the knowledge. We will gain the knowledge that we learned in our chapter 4, chapter 3, chapter 5. Okay, so of course, first we will start with karma kanda. Karma kanda means doing activities to fulfill our desires, but based on the prescribed duties as given in the prescription given in the Vedas. So as you advance further, you will start doing work in detached manner. And then you will get, if you keep doing this, you will get the jnana. Who is the super soul? What are we? Why we are here? This is the jnana yoga. When you advance further, you will go into the dhyana state. You will start meditating on the super soul. So finally, the total absorption comes. That is the bhakti. The total absorption is bhakti. Okay, so that is all about. All this process is ultimately going here, the total absorption. Okay, but the shortcut here is that Krishna is telling. 6.47. Yamuna Mataji. This is the shortcut.
I'll just read the English version.
Can Mataji.
And of all yogis, the one with the great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Yes, okay. So I would like to share 2 points here. Here Krishna has already given the steps, the shortcut to be the highest yogi. Okay. When a bhakti yogi, which means when we practice bhakti and we have total absorption on Krishna, and Krishna says that he is the topmost yogi. All right. When a person becomes the topmost yogi, which is the bhakti yogi, he's already a karma yogi. He's already a jnana yogi. He's already a dhyana yogi. Because all these devotional practices that I have been explaining from the day chapter 2, you will see everything is there already. You're chanting, you're absorbing, you are hearing. Yesterday, Kush Mataji asked whether chanting is a devotional service. Then I mentioned it starts with Sravanam, kirtanam, smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering. So everything is here. This itself is the yoga ladder, and it has been made very simple for people in Kali Yuga to practice. So we always like to take shortcut, right? So we don't want to take the escalator. We want to take the elevator, shoot straight up. Okay. And why Krishna says that is my opinion? Krishna says that is my opinion because, not because he is not confident with himself, because he knows in today's world, there will be so many opinions that this is best, this is bad, this is bad. Then he says, this is the opinion from God himself. This is the opinion of God himself. So this should be the supreme opinion compared to all other opinions that comes later. Okay, so this is the conclusion. This is a very nice verse. It gives such a good comfort and assurance that through bhakti, we can achieve bhakti yoga. Total absorption in Krishna. Okay, so a quick recap. So we did Ashtanga yoga. What do you all remember? What was the first thing we covered today? The first thing we covered today? Enemy and friend, what was it about? Anybody there?
Mind.
Yes. Mind, what about mind, Mataji? Janali Mataji? Vrinda Mataji? Yamuna Mataji? All the Prabhus are so quiet. Tired already. Yeah, tell me something about the mind.
And I,
I'm waiting. You can type it or you can speak. Haribol, Hare Krishna.
How one can control the mind, either being a friend or enemy.
Okay. So the mind is about the role of a mind as friend or enemy. If you're able to control the mind, then it is your friend. If it is not, if you're not able to control, then it is enemy. So what are the things that we covered in Ashtanga Yoga generally?
8 steps.
The practice that Krishna taught how to do the Dhyana Yoga.
Have to sit down on the skin.
Yeah, the manner of sitting. Okay, some more after that. After settle
Controlling
all
your
the
mind.
sitting.
The kushagra's something.
Okay, so this is also the manner of sitting. So after settle with all the manner of sitting,
Controlling your mind.
yes, Krishna taught how to meditate. All right, so what was the problem here?
Mind cannot be controlled.
Why?
Restless.
Because restless.
Okay, so how did the process seem like to Arjuna? What was his opinion?
The mind is restless and turbulent.
Okay, so therefore, it makes the process what to Arjuna?
Very strong.
unendurable.
Yes, unendurable. Therefore, it seems
Difficult.
Difficult. Okay, what is that word that Arjuna actually used? Bukan otak. Para Prabhu?
Unpractical.
Jai Sri Prabhu, yes. Impractical and unendurable. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was the solution that Krishna gave to control the mind?
You have to practice.
Yes, practice and
Detachment.
detachment. Yes,
Detach.
Janani Mataji,
Detachment.
Vrinda Mataji. Yes, very good. That's right. Okay, so what happens to the unsuccessful yogi? Let's start with the short-term failure.
They are born into family of righteousness people and rich aristocracy.
Very nice. Before that, where do they go?
Oh,
After they leave the body. They have to leave the body first, right? And then they go to heavenly planets or higher planets, but it's still in material realm, okay? And then they come back, you're right, reborn in rich and pious family. Then the advanced yogis, they take birth in the family of transcendentalists, and that is very rare. Okay, so need to appreciate that we have, in the first place, we are human, and then we have nice facilities for us to continue our journey. So the reason you all are here, There must be something. Okay, there must be a reason why out of millions we are sitting here. Okay, so this one also Krishna will tell in subsequent chapters. Okay, so we will see that why we are sitting here. All right, so what is the topmost yogi in Krishna's opinion? What? Who is the topmost yogi in Krishna's opinion?
Bhakti yogi.
Bhakti yogi. So Bhakti yogi is better, even better than yogis, is a devotee who worships Krishna directly. No need to go through the stairs, no need to go through the escalator. Just take the elevator, quickly get into your 9 devotion service, and you can worship Krishna, and the total absorption is at the end of the ladder. Okay, so the last slide reading, who would like to read? Come, somebody who has not read today. Have we heard from everybody today?
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra constantly, one can fix the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Savai Mana Krishna
Padar
Vindayo. And in the way achieve the perfection of yoga.
Okay, so this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, verse 80. So that's about it. Okay, let's, any questions? Okay, so if not, we can chant, somebody can lead the chanting for today. And
Mataji, can I just ask the
yes,
of the short-term yogi, you showed the picture of the Ambanis, right?
Yeah. Okay, hang on, let me go back. Yeah, this who is it? Ambani, is it? This one.
Ambani,
yeah.
Who are the rest of them? Is it the
All
family?
his children and wife and children. The pink is his wife and the other 3 are the children. But
One of the richest men in the world.
yeah.
Is
so,
it?
but that yes.
Okay.
Richest in India and one of the richest in the world.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then I get it. Okay. Yeah.
So, Mataji, so I was thinking, this long-term yogi, the one that you say rare birth and all, would our Swami Prabhupada, is he family or is he himself?
Good question.
Sorry, Mataji, is he family?
Is a family man or is a...
He will be born in those with long-term yogi, right? So he will be born in a family of transcendentalists.
Yes. He was born to a devotee couple.
Oh, okay. So if Swami Prabhupada would be considered one rare birth?
Correct. So actually Prabhupada was born in a educated family, rich family, righteous family, and they are also devotees. So since born, Prabhupada started playing mridanga. He was called Abhay Charan. Abhay Charan means fearless. And they are vegetarians since born. So they are great devotees. And Prabhupada started doing Radha Yatra when he was very, very small. So he's a devotee since born. So yeah, so he's a good example for this concept. So sometimes my children also, I will say, I don't know where you all fell from, why you're so naughty, and then they will tease each other. I think I fell from Vaikuntha garbage because they are so naughty like that. So there's a reason why they are born here in our family. So we need to try our best to give the facility that they need. All right, the rest we can leave it to Krishna, but this is the best we can do. So if you have children and if you are spiritually inclined, so do whatever it takes to give them what it needs. All right, so even if you can't perfect the life in this life, so we will give them a better life in the next one. Okay, so anybody would like to lead the chanting today? If there's no question, come on.
Okay,
3 times. Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare,
Hare Rama Hare Rama,
Hare Rama Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare,
Hare Rama Hare Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama
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 Hare
Hare Hare.
Thank you, Prabhu. Haribo.
My son
Thank
want to tell
you.
everyone his name.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello. What's your name? What's your name? What's his name, Prabhu?
Maraj.
Yuvaraj.
Maraj.
Maharaj.
Hello, Maharaj.
Hi.
Maraj. How to spell?
Mirage. Maraj.
M-A-R.
M-I-M-I.
Wow.
Sounds like a plane.
Yeah, he's very fast like a plane also.
Oh, that's a nice one. Okay. So I hope to see you on the screen soon, Raj. Right now.
Today's Friday, right?
Oh, can I see your cute face? Oh, hi. Thank you for joining the class. Okay. So I'll see you tomorrow. There will be Gita Gyan for children we used to have. I don't know when is the next batch. So perhaps your children can join Gita Gyan for kids. That is also EOG. Prabhu? Hey, hello. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I will get them to join. Thank you so much.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Good
Hare Krishna.
night.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Bye.
Everyone, good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.